It's the Tony Rose Morning Show on Sam 100.7, and for all the Queer Eye for the Straight Guy fans, we've got something. We've got a special treat for you today. Thom Filicia, one of the Fab Five, on the line with us. Good morning, Tom. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing absolutely fabulous. How is your Halloween Eve so far?
My Halloween Eve is it's going quite well. Actually, I already celebrated. I already went to a Halloween party this Saturday and had my costume all situated, so I was ready. I'm ready to go.
Now, what was your costume this year?
I was a 1970s tennis pro.
I love it, including the shorts that probably show way too much, right?
Yeah, really short shorts and a little, kind of tight Fred Perry white with like red trim on the collar and the arms and a little white zipper kind of jacket. Everything has to be a little uncomfortably small for the 70s.
Got to.
And then, of course, wristbands and a headband. I had a blonde wig on, like a 70s kind of surfer blonde wig with a big headband in it.
I love it. I love it.
It was good. You carry a tennis racket and a drink in your hand, and you're pretty much good to go.
There you go. Good for any occasion right there. Now, of course,
exactly.
Are you a big tennis guy? Do you play a lot of tennis?
I used to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't play as much anymore, only because, I've taken on the challenge of decorating the world one home at a time.
Of course, I know it's got to be an emotional ride right now with Queer Eye being in its final season. What has it been like so far this season with fan reaction, your reaction, the other guys?
First of all, the season's going really well, which is great. And I live in New York City, but I've been in L.A. shooting my new show, the Style Network. So I've been out there doing that and kind of focused on that. So it is kind of funny because you're just like, as one thing's kind of, sort of subsiding. And I say subside, but I'm sure Queer Eye is going to be in syndication probably for the next 25 years. But
it may never go away. Yeah,
I know, right? Well, we've literally, I think we've made probably 110 episodes of Queer Eye, which is quite a lot.
Wow, and each one of those.
Gilligan's Island probably made like 40.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, and I guess you guys will never get out of it, just like Gilligan never got off the island.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your show on the Style Network before we talk about tonight's episode of Queer Eye. Dress My Nest. It sounds like a fun show.
It is. It's called Dress My Nest. It's on the Style Network. It actually premieres November 27th.
Yeah.
And the idea is where I take a woman who has a very distinct sense of style, but she has no clue when it comes to interiors.
Right.
And basically, what I do is I take her lead. I take the lead from her fashion and then translate that into her house.
Cool.
So it's fun. I mean, it's cool. So right now I've got a show for the ladies on TV and a show for the men.
There you go. A little bit. Now, who do you like working with more, the gals or the guys?
I have to say, I'll be honest with you, it's not that much of a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, the aesthetic changes a little bit, but I think it's really. I think interior design is really personality driven,
right.
And so for me, it's just all I'm trying to do is sort of tap into the personality of the client or clients. And a lot of times on Queer Eye, there was a guy and his wife or a guy and his girlfriend, so I would have to take that into consideration. So there was, and the same thing on Dress My Nest. A lot of times they're married or they're in a serious relationship. So when I'm designing for them, I have to take that into consideration so that it kind of fits for that person's life. And if the other person's a part of their life, then that's part of my deal.
Now, when you guys are out and everything, and since especially since Queer Eye at its peak, when everybody when it was the talk of the nation, still is, but when it was at the top of the mountain, when you guys were out and about, was it just tough going out? Because did people ask you for advice all the time, or were they just coming up wanting pictures? Give us some weird fan stories.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, I got a lot of the advice thing because of what I do. We were all getting bombarded with wanting photographs and autographs and stuff like that. But as much as I don't know if I would use the word bombarded in a negative way. I mean, it's when you're selling a product, and if your product happens to be television, if people aren't interested in what you're doing or enjoying what you're doing, then your product isn't selling. So for me, I always looked at it as like, if we weren't being bombarded, that would have been kind of the tragedy. So I was always cool with it.
Been all around the States, been all around the world. Coolest celebrity that you got to meet or work with?
I would say probably the two nicest celebrities, who I also think are extremely cool people.
Right.
I would say were Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher.
Really?
Yeah, because they seem like they're just uber cool when you see them in photographs and you see them on television and whatnot.
Right.
But when you meet them in person, they're actually super down to earth and they're very, very cool at the same time. So I have to say I was really impressed with them and their kind of the way they carried themselves, and her kids were around, and it just seemed like they were just really comfortable with themselves, which is not something that you generally run into in that world. People tend to be less comfortable with themselves than you would think. So it was refreshing, and also kind of inspiring.
And of course, your career's still in the upswing. What has been the highlight so far?
Well, of course, Queer Eye has been an amazing experience, and I have a new show, which is great and very excited about.
Right.
I've had my company, Thom Filicia Inc., for about 10 years now, and we're now, the last 3 years we've branched out into commercial work, so we're doing 4 W hotels, one in L.A., one in San Diego, one in Buckhead, possibly one in New York, and then I'm also doing a whole bunch of residential projects all over the country. And actually,
busy man.
What was that?
I said you're a busy man.
Yeah, no, it's exciting, and actually I'm working on a textile line and a book, and we're gearing up for a furniture line right now. So we've got a lot of really exciting things that we're working on. So it's actually been a really exciting. It's kind of nice when something like this is happening, when Queer Eye is sort of going away, which has been a really fun, positive experience, but also that it's sort of segueing into other really, exciting possibilities is really great.
All right, tell us a little bit about tonight's show.
Okay, a little bit about tonight's show. There's 2 shows. Every week they have 2 shows now. So the first one tonight, I believe, is Adam. He's he runs a nonprofit called Rocking the Boat up in the Bronx, and basically what he does, he works with underprivileged kids and gives them the skill of working with their hands and learning how to make a boat and working in a group. And
cool.
It's actually a really cool organization, and he makes sailboats with the kids, real wooden sailboats, and so they make the 16-foot wooden sailboat, and they have a launch party, and we help them get a corporate sponsor, and we kind of get them all situated for the event, and then they launch the boat out in the Hudson River with the kids, and you kind of have to see what happens. It's really fun. That's a great episode. I just love what he does because he's working with kids and kind of helping them, prepare themselves for I guess a more successful, life for them. Just a little more empowered. So that's really great. And then there's another guy. The second episode is this guy, Willie, who's from Ecuador, who was voted the New York's nicest person by the New York Daily News.
Cool.
And so we took him because he got this award, and we decided to help him out, and he has his son moving in with him, and this whole kind of crazy situation. They have this big Ecuadorian feast, and I don't know. I don't want to give too much away, but it's fun. He was voted New York's nicest guy, so we decided we had to find this person, make sure he was the nicest guy, and then help him out with whatever he needed. It's
Queer Eye for the Straight Guy tonight on the Bravo Network. And when can folks check out your new show on the Style Network, Dress My Nest? When is that on?
The new show on the Style Network is going to be on November 27th, and it's called Dress My Nest.
Very cool. And how can folks find out more about you? You got a website?
It's ThomFilicia.com.
Check it out. And also, I guess you can go to the Bravo website, find out all the details there about Queer Eye. Hey, thank you so much for coming on. Continue. Best of luck to you, Thom. Have a great day.
Okay, you too now.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.